coming up on the Middle Class VO podcast.
To those who are getting demos done and you want to pursue getting an agent, the fall is your best time to send those out because come December, agencies don't even look at new submissions.
If you need e-learning, we're just an email away. Corporate narration, tell us what to say. Explainer video, imaging radio, slinging local cars, reading IVR. No, we ain't no stars. This is the Middle Class VO podcast. The Middle Class VO podcast. The Middle Class VO podcast.
So, yeah, I don't even know. I was thinking about, do we talk about AI? And then I was just on VoiceOver Pros, and they just put out a notice that we're not going to be discussing AI anymore because it's just, it's as bad as talking about the pay-to-play sites now, and people are just tired of it. And so I don't know. This is Bobby, how is it that you and I don't have an opinion on something right now? We don't have thoughts. We don't have ideas. What's going on? Is it the sweltering summer heat?
Or is it we're just nice people who don't like conflict?
I believe it's that. I believe a lot of it is that. But yeah, we're just sitting here trying to figure out what we're going to talk about on today's podcast. And sometimes it's a podcast about nothing.
Well, we could talk a little summer marketing.
No, nothing happens.
Well, something happens.
We could,
What's that?
Are you having a slow down right now?
A little bit, which explains why I've been doing some auditions the last few days, is because it's been a little bit slow. And I find myself getting marketed to. I got marketed to today by a guy, and super nice guy. We actually go back to radio days back in Miami, and he marketed to me today. He's like, basically, hey, I'm here. Let me know if you have any voiceover needs. I'm like, okay. And it's good to stay in front of people. I wish, sometimes I think there's a more creative way to do that. But
so for those of you who don't know, Kevin also casts. So that's why people are getting in touch with
And we're not just talking about rods and reels. We're not trying to catch bass here. We're talking about voiceovers.
Oh, my gosh. Kevin and his wife stayed with Steve, my husband, and I this past weekend. We went to Reds-Cardinals game, and Saturday night, he was just in rare form. He just was singing the Bee Gees.
You can tell by the way I use my walk, I'm a woman man. No time to talk. You got that.
Stay alive. Steve was laughing Sunday morning or whenever you left. I can't remember. He was like, I kind of miss that.
That is so sweet. That's good times there. That was we stayed at Maxwell, La Maison Maxwell.
Or the Maxwell House.
Oh, the Maxwell House. Duh. That's so easy. That's perfect. And it truly was like a VRBO, or are they calling it Verbo? I think they're calling it Verbo, aren't they, on the TV ads?
Right, or Airbnb.
Have you seen those ads for VRBO?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But anyway, I would say with your hospitality, your and Steve's hospitality, it was much better than just your normal Airbnb.
Aw, really?
Yeah. We had it really was. With all the refreshments you had for us, the snacks. We had our own laundry if we needed it. Had our own shower. It was very, very nice.
Speaking of which, did you take the bathrobe?
I did. I took the bathrobe and some art off the wall. Because it wasn't nailed down, so it was your fault, really.
And you didn't even move the Gideon's Bible an inch, I noticed.
No. Oh, man. No. But yeah, we had a great time, and the Cardinals lost to the Reds on the Friday night game they lost to the Reds in the Saturday game that we kept up with. But Sunday, they finally got their victory over the Reds. But the Reds have dominated the Cardinals this year.
Well, I'm glad they're dominating somebody because they didn't look very good last night. I'm a huge Reds fan.
Yeah.
Huge, have been since birth, I guess. So you get so excited. I mean, that's like with any team. You get so excited and pumped and finally into a season, and you just like, oh, come on, you're this close. And yeah.
Yeah, I actually saw the highlights from that game last night, and Javier Baez from the Chicago Cubs hit a walk-off hit to propel the Cubs to victory. And he taunted the pitcher going from after he hit the ball because he knew that was the game winner no matter what. And he like untucked his shirt. He started doing a motion with his bat like row, row, row your boat, go home.
Really?
It was the most egregious taunting I have seen in a while. And I would not be surprised if there are not repercussions, either A, by...
Yeah, if he's fined or something. Huh? If he's fined, you mean?
Yeah, I say that's a possibility, but I would definitely say Amir Garrett, the Reds pitcher, because I think they have a beef that goes back a little bit. But, man, Javier Baez, I mean, they got to play him 2 more games.
Exactly.
So by the time you heard this podcast, there might be a fallout of some sort that you might already know about. But at the time of this recording, it's only 1 day later from that game. But Amir Garrett, he might plop him in the head.
Oh, yeah.
Plop him in the ribs, any number of things. But
yeah, that's not cool. Not cool at all.
It was pretty bad sportsmanship, but I would say.
We have our feelings about the Cubbies.
Yes. At least we have that in common.
Exactly.
There are so many people that like the Cubs, though. The lovable Cubs. I guess they're lovable to some people, but not if you're a Cardinals or Reds fan, probably.
Right. Can you hear my dog in the studio? This is the first time I've allowed him in the studio. Yeah, he was shaking his collar a second ago.
Okay, I thought I heard like the tap dancing from the nails on the hardwood floor or something. Sounds like tap dancing. That's what our little pooch sounds like.
Sit.
Oh, and speaking of going back to voiceover a little bit, we're doing a podcast about voiceover. So we're doing talking about the AI voices and stuff. And I was trying to think of stuff we could talk about today. And I reminded myself, I need to do some research on your interface so you can get a proper monitor set up. And I was looking at, you've got the Focusrite Solo, and you also have the Focusrite, the 2i2, is that what it's called, that model?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
your Focus 2i2, you don't need anything new. That has monitor outputs in the back. So all you need, Bobby, is a male 1/4 inch to XLR input on the back of your monitor, your JBLs, or just 1/4 inch to 1/4 inch. And when you buy you some cables, literally all you need now are 1/4 inch cables. Get mono 1/4 inch cables. This little tech talk here.
Okay.
And don't get because on a stereo, I'm going to get a little techie, but on a stereo plug, 1/4 inch plug, you have 3 lines. On a mono one, you have 2. Now can you hear the garage door opening, by the way?
No, I can't.
Okay,
Is it the peacocks?
Yeah. That peacock's name is Deborah. So I guess it'd be a peahen. But on a 1/4 inch cable plug-in, you got 3 lines. You got tip, ring, or 3 parts. Tip, ring, sleeve. Whereas on a mono, you've only got 2 of them. So make sure, on the stereo one, like you'll have on your headphones, the 1/4 inch, you'll see 2 lines and then the tip. On the other one, there's only going to be 1 line and a tip. So tip, ring, sleeve is the parts for a stereo one. And then you just have the, I don't know if it's the ring and the tip or the sleeve. Yeah, probably just the sleeve and the tip for the monos. But make sure you get just 2 mono cables, 1/4 inch cables, so there's no impedance, blah, blah issues. That gets a little above my pay grade. But that's all you need. You're ready to go.
So 1/4 inch on each end, right?
Yeah, you need 2 1/4-inch. You've got a left line output and a right line output on that Focusrite 2i2. And those 1/4 inches should go directly into the back of your JBL. I don't know what model JBLs you have, but I looked up some JBLs online, and the majority of them had the XLR and the 1/4 inch. So, you can get 1/4 inch to XLR if you want, which would create a more secure connection, but you don't have to for monitoring what you're monitoring.
Okay.
Because you're not mixing, you're not producing albums. You just need to hear your voice in full fidelity over in the air and not just jammed into your ears all the time, because that gets fatiguing on your head.
Yeah, like you said, it's preferable for playback to be through your monitors and not through your headphones.
Yeah.
Okay.
100%. A lot of people will mix stuff with music and sound effects and whatnot through headphones, but it's not recommended. It's recommended if you are mixing stuff with music and such that you do it over monitors. So you get, and then the monitors don't need to be like home monitors because they add bass to like home monitors stuff. So it sounds like a booming theater. If you're getting monitors for your studio, you need to look at TRS, True Reference Speakers, or True Reference Sound, whatever that is, whatever the TRS stands for. It's True Reference is what it is. So the audio coming out is the audio that everybody else is going to get, and you can hear how it's going to sound when it goes to somebody.
Okay. I hope it works out.
You probably don't know off the top of your head what your JBLs are, do you? What number?
No, I don't. Honestly, I bought them like 3 years ago, maybe 3 or 4 years ago.
Okay.
And I tried to connect them, and whatever interface I was using at the time, it just wasn't working. I kind of set them aside, and then I needed more room in my workspace here because my studio is not just a booth; it's a room. And so I just put the JBLs back in storage, and I have not even looked at them for 3 years. Then they were brand new. So I was talking to Kevin over the weekend. It's like, I really need to get, these monitors out.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And you've got the interface ready to go for it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and
Yep.
our plan was to record a podcast while at Bobby's over the weekend, but we got into too much stuff. We pool party, baseball games, grilling out, recovering, all that kind of stuff. That's kind of what goes down. But let me give an objective description of Bobby's studio space right now. She's got a great, amazing setup because she's got down in her basement a room within a room, and it's kind of like a room within a room within a room in a way because you're downstairs in the basement. That's great, first off. And then there's like a separated space that has like a lobby kind of area, if you will, a sitting room, if you will. And then inside that is Bobby's actual recording space, which is, if I was ballparking, maybe 10 by 8, something like that?
Yeah, that's probably pretty close, maybe even 12 by 8.
Okay.
And that in itself was built triple drywall, double walls. So it was built to spec to sound just totally dead sound. I mean, I even have a glass block window, and I can't even hear my neighbor mowing when he's mowing 5 feet from the glass block window. So it's, I love
it's
it.
a really nice setup. And, and you've got the 2-door system where she has a door that is on the inside. And then you've got the layers that Bobby's talking about. And then you have a door on the outside of that, so in that space, there's like 3 or 4 inches in between the 2 doors that you have to go through to get into her recording space. And it's phenomenal and sounds great.
Thanks.
And, what I like about it, too, is you've got enough room to sit in there and stay the day, and it doesn't feel so claustrophobic and such a cocoon. My setup is a little bit different where I've got my booth, and I've got a monitor in my booth for when I'm recording so I can make sure I'm still recording and I can look at scripts. But then that and the microphone basically are the only electronics in here. Except for like a power strip. And then I keep my computer, I run all the cables outside to keep my computer and everything because, I don't know, I just like that little tighter space. To each his own. The big the only thing that really, 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 really matters is what comes out of the speakers. When you're talking about fidelity, quality, your performance has got to be great. But then, it doesn't matter if you're in a closet full of clothes. Bobbi and I have talked about a bunch of times that actually can make a great recording space.
It really does. I do that when I visit my daughters every time. It's just go into their smallest closet, make sure I'm surrounded by clothes, and it helps to have the 416, but hey, it works. I've never had a client say, not going to work. So,
I had a voiceover a baseball friend, Bill Jennings, and Bill listens to our podcast. So, Bill, shout out to Bill. But his son is studying voiceover right now. Isn't it crazy they're teaching this in college now, Bobbi? Have you thought about that? They're teaching voiceover at a college here in the Nashville area. And he told me who the course instructor was. And he's an animation voice. I can't think of his name off the top of my head. But, I checked him out, and he has a long history producing, directing, and performing in animation. And some very credible stuff. He's got some really legit credit. So he's teaching a course in voiceover. So my friend Bill was asking me about microphones. He said his son was currently using, I think, Blue Yeti, U2, or USB, whatever. And, then he sent me a picture of an Audio-Technica. I can't remember the model of the AT, but asked would this be a good voiceover mic. And I said it'd be a fine voiceover mic. Nothing wrong with that mic. It'd be fine. It'd be a little bit of an upgrade.
Fine.
Yeah. And then, you know me, I went into my whole diatribe about it's the performance. Microphone doesn't matter. And it's the performance and your recording space. Your recording space is much more important than the actual microphone, in my opinion. People can disagree all day long if they want to. But when you got your recording space set up like Bobbi has, like I have, thankfully, and then even a decent microphone will sound fine. So it's more about your recording space, getting that noise isolated, that might interfere with a live recording. Make sure you don't have any reverb. But there's a fine line. You don't want to take out every single decibel of that reverberant sound. There's a fine line of going too far, because I've heard places or studios and voice actors that have, it's an uncomfortable suck sound in a way. There's too much dead is what it is.
Yeah. But, yeah. I know what you're talking about. Exactly.
Yeah, it's those rooms that they put you in to make you kind of crazy, where there's like absolutely zero sound, zero light. I watched this YouTube thing.
Padded walls?
Yeah, padded walls. Yeah. All that stuff. No communication. But anyway, it's very similar to what voiceover is.
That's awesome that they're doing that in college courses. I know here locally in Cincinnati, the broadcasting school offers voiceover now, and I think they've been doing that for several years. But it's cool that they're going to, at this particular college you're talking about, obviously they'll have an animation course, and I'm sure some commercial and business narration or whatever, a little bit of everything. So, yeah, you could choose to go that route if you'd like.
Yeah, isn't it funny? And like when you think, okay, this college could have a voiceover course. Well, what about the multiple genres that you could teach? I mean, my goodness, there's dozens and dozens and dozens of genres. I don't know if we've quite gotten to the hundreds of genres, but if we haven't, we got to be getting close with all the new technology and all the new things that are popping up that need voices. Social media, e-learning, commercials, animation, corporate, and you break down corporate into like multiple levels. So, where do you start? But anyway, it's really kind of cool, and hopefully they're getting the right foundation for what this career actually is.
That's Scab-worthy.
When you were here, I wish I could have. I wanted to really bring you into the studio because you're a good technical guy. I've been having an issue for several months now, and I have no idea where it's coming from. Did you happen to see a tissue between two of my cords when you were setting everything up? I think you did because you moved it.
I did.
Yeah, when you,
I probably didn't even think twice.
It wasn't a dirty tissue.
It wasn't a
I
snotty
swear.
tissue. No. That's probably what I did, and I probably took a pen or something and moved it out of the way. I'm like, DNA.
I'm trying to. I know. I'm trying to figure out where this click noise is, and I can see it on the spectral view of Adobe Audition. It looks like just like a toothpick, and it doesn't do it all the time. But it seems like the longer my my Adobe Audition is running under that. Oh, what's the word I'm trying to, like, if I've had a lot of sessions on it, it seems like it'll get worse. And so I just get out of it and start up a new one, and it seems to go away when I reboot my computer. But it's so weird. And so I've heard a lot of people say that clicks or little noises could come from wires crossing. And I tried to, I saw that I had a bunch of them jumbled up between my headphones and the cables coming out of the interface and my monitor. And so I stuck some tissue in between some of them to see if it would make a difference. But it's weird because it hasn't done it in a few days now. And I'm still baffled at where that noise is coming from.
Did it start back since
it's not
I moved
a mouth
your
noise.
tissue?
Yeah, since you moved my tissue.
Now, if it happens,
Actually,
shoot
since
me
you
the
changed
audio.
out my interface. Remember, we switched from the Solo to the 2i2. So
You know what?
I don't know what's going on.
Because I don't know how these internal clock things work or whatever, all that kind of stuff. All that stuff. I don't know how it works. But I almost thought it might be more of a digital issue with them talking to each other properly. And I don't know. That's beyond my pay grade. But yeah, it's funny now that you got the 2i2 in there. Maybe it'll go away. But if it happens again, shoot me the audio and just say, hey, Kev, here's what I was doing, exactly what you were doing. And, this was my 18th session in this particular session that I had set up, or my 18th recording in this particular session that I had set up, and it took 20 minutes or whatever. But I don't know. I'd probably be able to isolate whether or not it was digital or like cable related.
Right.
Yeah. And your mouth clicks better than anybody. So, you'll be able to identify that. Huh. Interesting.
Yes.
If it happens again, yeah, shoot me some audio and we'll see if we can't get that narrowed down.
Definitely.
But yeah, what about, so you said something about, and I totally changed the subject by design, but you'd said something about marketing this summer. I was like, squirrel, we don't want to talk about marketing. Nobody does. Have you done any marketing this summer?
I haven't, but I'm about to. July is typically very, very slow for me, but the first half of it was actually not too bad. And last week and this week are kind of slow. So I'm about to launch into a little marketing idea that I have on some production houses that I would love to work with. And I've reached out to them, but I have something, and I don't even want to tell you what it is because, I don't want anybody to steal my idea.
Shoot, no. Keep that to yourself, kid.
Yeah, but it includes something physical that I'm sending to them. And I just thought now's a good time. A lot of people have a summer slowdown, and they might go, oh, well, I'm going to listen to her demo, And, yeah.
Yeah.
So.
I already know what it is, Bobby. I've got an idea.
I know you know.
I've got an idea of what it is. So you know how when you go by those used car lots and you see the billowing man that's like 20 foot tall, waving his arms around, you got one of those with your face on it, and you sent it. It says Bobby Maxwell voiceover, and it's gonna be flopping around in the wind, isn't it?
I could watch that thing for hours. I love it.
It's hypnotic.
Absolutely love it.
They actually have a name. I can't remember what the name of it was, but it's like something man, like inflatable man or something like that.
Yeah.
It's so funny, but yeah, that would be hilarious if you had one of those.
So, send one to each of the production houses?
Yeah, I mean,
Give the delivery guy an extra, 20 to actually set it up in front of their office.
Oh my gosh. Could you imagine how
I
expensive?
would never get any work.
Yeah, they'd be so annoyed with you. Let's see. What are the inflatable guys called? Tube man, sky dancer, air dancer, or wacky waving inflatable arm flailing tube man, also known as tall boy.
Oh, boy.
Let's see. What can you get one of these for on Amazon? $60. Blower not included.
Are you kidding? Only $60?
Yeah, but blower's not included.
Well, you know what? My husband loves those big Christmas blow-up things.
Mm-hmm.
And one year I bought a snowman that was bigger than our house.
Oh
and
my gosh.
he had a blower. He loves to tinker.
Yep.
So he had a blower, and people would comment every year, "You gonna put up the snowman with the blower?" Because he would do that, and when it would get a little windy, he'd tip over a little bit, but he'd come back up again. So.
Oh, that's great. That's great. You can get one with a blower, by the way, for $300. So I think for the low investment of 30 grand, you could get a good marketing sweep going on out there, Bobby.
Skibidi-ba-ba-ba.
Hey, I think I'll stick to my idea.
Yeah, there you go.
A lot cheaper.
Oh man, but that
What
would be
about
epic.
you? Any marketing in the next couple months?
I don't know. Yeah, I need to. I actually, believe it or not, I'm considering redoing my automotive demo and marketing to some
Whoa.
automotive, my good old bread and butter. I have not marketed automotive in years, and I'm thinking about doing it. Just
Are you producing it, or are you going to have somebody else do it?
I'm going to produce it. I'm
Yeah,
going
I was gonna say.
Yeah, I'm going to produce this one just because I know what I want, and I know what sound books for me. And I know you should, little tip, don't ever try to produce your own demo unless possibly you've got decades of experience. That's the only caveat
Right.
I could say. And especially because this is my genre, this is my niche, and that's why. Every other demo that I have, though, was produced by somebody else. So that should tell you. But this particular one, I take that back. My documentary is some from actual work and then some from, other stuff. So anyway, but so I'm going to produce this on my own.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I will throw a tip out there to those who are getting demos done and you want to pursue getting an agent. The fall is your best time to send those out, because come December, agencies don't even look at new submissions. So say if you're getting your demo done now and you're going to get it back in August or September, you've got just a few months to get it out there before it's shut down for the year.
Oh, wow. That's a good tip, even for myself. I've got, no, seriously, I've just got, the agent game is just such a small part, I feel, for your marketing and for how your work should come. Now, I'm sure there are a bunch of people that they get the majority of their work from agents, but that is a slippery slope, I would say. You got to be invested in so many other pieces of pie to get work coming in, and diversification is the key.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
100%. But yeah, that's good
Definitely.
news. I don't, I've got, I've told you before, I got mixed feelings about agents, and I've got one agent right now, and I love her. But I'm reticent to market to others just because of the game. And you and I were talking about one in particular. There are some agents that are not good fits for everybody. So
Right.
I feel like I might could get listed with this agent, but I don't know if I want to. So. You got to be a good fit, and the agent's got to be a good fit for you, and you got to be a good fit for them. So bear that in mind.
And you also have to kind of figure out, I don't know how you would go about doing this, but if you have multiple agents and they're sending you the same jobs and you're going with, say, one of them over the others, who's to say the agent wouldn't say, hey, they're not submitting anything back to me, so why do I keep sending them things? Or they could potentially drop you. So you have to really look at, when you get multiple agents, who's a conflict and who you're just going to kind of double up on.
Yeah.
Does that 100%. Make sense?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. 100%. So I was just thinking, Bobbi, what are we going to talk about on the podcast today?
Well, we come from radio. We can talk about anything.
Yeah, we didn't have really a topic going in, and I kind of felt like if we just kind of started conversing, it was the impetus for the podcast idea that we just were chatting so much about the voiceover business that we should just hit record. And boom, here we are.
Ba-da-ba-ba.
Real quick, I want to say congratulations to you for us publishing our 50th MCVOP podcast. We eclipsed 50 a few episodes ago, and I didn't figure it out until a few episodes later. So a couple of months ago, we put out our 50th, Bobbi. So congratulations on 50. It looks great on you.
That's crazy. It does not seem like it's been 50 episodes.
I know. And we'll have to have this like a black tie celebration when we do our 100th, and I'll have to try to keep tabs on that when it's coming up, so we can maybe have some special and surprise guests or something like that. So that'd be kind of fun.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, congratulations to you too.
Thank you. So maybe in the next probably be a year or so away before we get to that, because Lord knows it takes some time to put these together.
Definitely. And we're going to have to come up with our guests for the fall, too.
Yeah. What are you looking forward to in the fall in regards to voiceover, Bobbi?
Oh, it's not really a big political year. Otherwise, I'd say political. There'll be some jobs out there, issues and PAC stuff. But, it's not a presidential year. And I think, isn't it the even years are typically the senators and so it's going to be kind of a slow one, but I don't know. I'm what, one thing I'm looking forward to, and I can take it from you on this, is you told me back in the beginning of the summer there's going to be a slowdown with automotive because the shortage of chips.
Yeah, and
I'm hoping that's going to start rising again. Tell me, Kevin, is it?
With the huge potato famine, they've been low on Lay's, Pringles, Ruffles, all those chips, and it really impacted the automotive industry. It's like those workers can't eat chips to stay energized, so how are they going to make cars? No, obviously the microchip processor things that go in the computers of cars. There was a shortage on those, and that was because it just all COVID. All COVID.
Yeah, it is.
During COVID. But no, it was. There was a slowdown in the summertime, and hopefully that will pick up. And I think, Bobbi, you're on point 100% with regards to marketing. And late summer, fall, I think is a great time to market, to submit to agents, but marketing also because there are so many people starting to plan their budgets right now that they're going to be thinking about numbers to spend in the next year. They might go, hey, this voiceover person sounds good. What are their rates? And that kind of thing. So, yeah, fall is a really good time to do some marketing.
And I know Pandora only brings on new talent. Is it once or twice a year? And I think we're coming up on that, too. So if you've always wanted to be on Pandora or iHeart, same thing. This would be the time to investigate on how to submit your demos for that.
Excellent, Bobbi. Excellent.
Well, thank you.
We should do this again sometime, like when we have no topics. Just ramble on.
Okay. Oh, but man, I gotta go. Finn is in my studio, and he just farted, Kevin. Oh.
Sure, blame it on the dog.
I'm serious. Whoa. Dude.
What have you been feeding him?
I got a little fan here.
That is so funny. Well, good luck with that. Oh, I do hear the fan.
Do you?
Yeah. Oh, that's so funny. Poor guy, blamed it on the dog.
I know.
Well, let's do this again sometime soon, kid.
Sounds great. Sounds great.
And thank you.
Have a great week.
Thank you and Stephen again for all your hospitality last weekend. It was amazing. We had a great time. Deborah and I did, so we had a great time.
Our pleasure. Now it's your place next time, right?
Hey, bring it on. Bring it on.
Okay.
All right, we'll talk to you soon.
Alrighty, buddy.
The Middle Class VO Podcast is a K2 Media Productions production.
All views and opinions expressed are those of the hosts and guests. The MCVOP jingle was written and produced by Kevin.
Co-produced and performed by Chloe Dolandis.
Additional engineering by Zach Zimmett.
Bobby's hair and makeup by Rebecca Adlita.
Kevin's wardrobe by Slippery Pete's Fashion Emporium.
All previous episodes are available for download on Podbean.
For the Middle Class VO Podcast, I'm Tracy Thibodeau.
I'm Lisa Lou Perry.
Thanks for listening.
And don't miss the next episode of The Middle Class VO Podcast. The Middle Class VO Podcast.